Right, good afternoon, everybody. Today is the 19th of the 12th month, 2023. All right, so Bitcoin very volatile these days because of the ETF news, the delay, that has certain exchanges getting hacked, all these different set of things happening in the market, right? Now, currently, we are retesting. I highlighted these things here: 20 MA in green, the 50 MA in gold, the 100 MA in red, and we had the 200 MA in purple, right? So during bull markets and those kind of things and these kind of option, you want to see these lining up like this with the 200 on the bottom, 150 in the order, right? Now we testing back over this 200 MA here. We lost it yesterday, we're again back over it, right? If it is, we do break below this pattern, right? This pattern, if Bitcoin break below this pattern, right? You take it the line and measure it from the top to the bottom, right? Wherever the breakout happen, you will see dry day. We should start to find some support at around 35,000, and it could probably even give you a wick all the way down to test the 100 ME at 33,000 to take out the liquidity too. And also fill the CME gap at 34,000. We have a CME gap around the region. We have quite a few CME gaps. So these are the things what we need to look at. If we don't bounce at here, what we could see happening, right? Because it have plenty technical analysis. People some saying Bitcoin going to go to 60,000, all kind of different set of chalalala. Right? We could form something like this, go down, test the 50 MA, come back up to test this range here, right? At around the 42,000 because this area on top now go flip as resistance, and then it could break down through this range here now. And we could end up with something like this, coming back down eventually to final test the 200 MA. So we can see how the next few days going to play off, right? Now, if we end up in a pattern like this and we end up with, instead of here come to this level, right? It reached down to this level here and it just went back up to like 38,000, right? What that could end up forming as a head and shoulder pattern with the top being at almost 45,000 and the neckline of it being around 35,000. So that is 10,000, right? If Bitcoin do have a loss and loss from this pattern, right? It could eventually carry down to this level here at 25,000. So people who talking about 28, 30, 40, all them different sort of things, from a technical analysis point, everybody need to look at it from the bigger picture, right? And this line here, this goal line here, if I highlight this line and I make this line better, this green, I'm gonna change it from that color to a green and I'm gonna put it darker, right? This is Bitcoin long-term support, right? So if it is Bitcoin goes below, right? I would say 28,000. If we close below 28,000, right? This is the long-term support for Bitcoin, right? And the support coming from the last, since before the last bull market. If I trace back, this line is actually going down to the same region where you see there around 7, 8,000. And that could be where we could thing because when the ETF does get approved next month, that going to cause this market going to dump, this market going to react, and this market going to dump. It's going to be the wheels selling to the big all the financial institutions I think were buying and the feeling where Bitcoin going to 100,000, it's going to dump, right? And if we lost this long-term support here, which is below the 200 MA, right, we'll end up in serious problems. And if you notice, this 200 MA is support from since the only time we went below this 200 MA was from August the 14th. We fall below it to sec October the October month we was below it till about the 17th of October. Right, during this whole rally up here, we maintained this 200 MA, right? We break above it when we did break in the beginning of the year, January. That was around 19,000. So don't be fooled by anybody who telling people these kind of things. If you do highlight this too here, right? This is also we could get a rising wedge here too, right? Some people just be too bullish when it comes to things and they don't really look at the bigger picture in trading. But from technical analysis point, it's always good to look at everything from one way, right? Look at this, right? Let's look at something here, right? This pattern will start from here. So we have one wave up, right? Come down. Nice. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going on a correction stage here, right? So it's a one wave thing. 2, 3. Come down. Back at this level. And because this is a rising wedge, expanding wedge, right? These patterns, 90% of the chance, 80% of the chance does break to the downside. And that is why it is now you have to be very careful with what it is here, how much money you're pumping into the crypto, right? Because if this pattern do break to the downside, plenty people say it's not going to go to 12,000, but statistically, I've given everybody the facts and showing you how exactly it reached into 12,000, right? So don't let nobody fool anybody and tell them Bitcoin can't go to 12,000. I just put the TA for people to see how exactly it could go to 12,000. And this line here is the long-term support for Bitcoin. And you can see just now if this pattern breakout, we dropping right down to retest this range. So that is how Bitcoin could go to 12,000. Right, it have TA showing 12,000, and I think if it go to 12,000, it can even go down to 10,000. If we lost the support here and start to close below this region, which is coming in at around the 24,000. If you take out 24,000 support, right, then after you could start to feel worried because the next data zone will come real fast, just like as fast as how it dumped from earlier on a few months ago when it went from almost 30,000 straight down to 24,000 in the space of 15 minutes or less. It made this down, right? So just be careful with how everybody trading because at our TA, what suggestion if we break to the downside here, that this could most likely be the local top and we could go to a bigger correction down.